afternoon to all the viewers. I am Dr. Rajesh Singh, Associate Professor from Parul Institute of Law, Parul University. I warm welcome our eminent speaker as Desai, who is practicing in the family courts and dealing with the various matters of the family matters. So, as per, let us introduce about the ma'am. Actually, ma'am is a matrimonial lawyer, and she practices at various family and the trial court in the divorce matters, child custody matters, and maintenance matter, as well as moreover in the domestic violence and etc. She also appeared in the Gujarat High Court in the appeal pertaining to the family laws. So from this, I'm not wasting more time. So I warm welcome Arusi ma'am on this topic, and the topic of this webinar is on the divorce petition, drafting and pleading. This is the series of the drafting and pleading, and madam is going to elaborate that how to draft on the divorce petitions. So I think Akhil sir is not able to join with some difficulty on the network problem. So madam, I'm not wasting more time. So I am warm welcome from the bottom of our heart from the Parul Institute of Law, Parul University, ma'am. So I am handing this session to you, ma'am, on this topic. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And very good afternoon, Dr. Rajesh, and all the faculty of Parul University, all the students and all the viewers of this episode. I'm Advocate Arushi Desai, and Dr. Rajesh has been kind enough to give my introduction. I'm thankful to Dr. Rajesh Singh and Dr. Akhil Syed for inviting me and letting me share whatever little knowledge I have in this area of matrimonial law. I hope I can do justice to the invite by by imparting the knowledge to the students, and I can do my bit in that. We will be talking about drafting of divorce petitions today. So I am going to be taking you to drafting of various petitions in the family court. Dr. Rajesh, we will divide it into 5 parts. First part we'll do drafting of divorce petitions. Secondly, we'll do drafting of child custody petitions. Third, we will do drafting of maintenance applications. Fourth, we'll do drafting of domestic violence complaints. And fifth, let's do drafting of section 498A complaints under the Indian Penal Code at what we need to do at the police station, right? Now, before I take the students and everybody to the drafting, I want to share something very important about a draft of a family court, actually a draft of any lower court, right? So a draft that the first main petition, your exhibit 1 that you file at the lower court. In this regard, let me talk about family court because today's topic is that whatever draft you file, you are going to carry it with you to the High Court. If you are dissatisfied with your judgment, you are going to carry that draft with you to the Supreme Court. You are going to carry that one draft you have made. Suppose you have made a draft in the year 2013 and your matters are still going on in 2020. You are still fighting the matters. In 2020, you go to the Supreme Court. In your hand, that draft will be there. So a draft of any lower court is extremely important. So that is why we need to be very extensive. Now, your drafting will not start when you open your computer and you start typing the first word. Your drafting of a family court petition will start when your client comes to you. That is the main part of drafting. Now, your client, a family court client, is a very emotional, a very sensitive person. With a family court client, you are not only their lawyer, you are also their friend, you are also their counselor. वो शायद आपकी चेंबर में आके वो रोने लगेंगे. You have to be a lawyer, but you still have to listen to every word they say, because whatever they say, it will be helpful to you in the duration of their matter. I have been to a chamber of a lawyer, a senior lawyer, in the ages of 13. He had become a senior counsel in the age of 30s. I have been in the chamber of a senior lawyer about the age of 80. There is one thing that is common between both of them. They have a piece of paper when the client is there. They note down everything the client says. They note down the important parts. Even if they have, you'll know how a senior advocate will have a junior sitting with them in the chamber when the client meetings are going on. The junior is taking notes, yet the senior will have a piece of paper with them. They will be noting down what the client is saying. Therefore, your interaction with the client is extremely important. जैसे बोलते हैं ना कि कंज्यूमर इज द किंग, वैसे इन अ फैमिली कोर्ट always note that a client is the king in the consumer court, in the family courts, right? Now, when you talk to your client of a family court, there are certain things you need to do during the drafting. Your drafting, you have to be so involved with the drafting of a family court कि आपका client का number को आप speed dial पे कर दो. The period you are drafting, the 3-4 day period, आप जब स्टेनोग्राफर को ड्राफ्टिंग करवा रहे हो, आपका ये फैमिली कोड का ड्राफ्ट आप खुद लिख रहे हो ड्राफ्ट, at that time it is very constant touch with your client. You need to base a story, not a story, you have to stick to the facts, but you need to base that facts into a proper story कि कोई रीड करे तो पता चले कि हाँ ये जो लिखा है वो ऐसे लॉजिक में लिखा हुआ है. यू नीड टू एक एक पॉइंट के बाद आप ऐसा नहीं लिख सकते हो कि हाँ मुझे 2015 में मारा था, फिर मुझे 2012 में उसने ऐसा बोला था. यू नीड टू गो इन द असेंडिंग ऑर्डर, right? So ascending order in a draft of a family court is extremely important. With your client, after he comes to meet you, you have to tell him certain things. First, to ask him to send the chronology of events. Chronology of events will be in ascending order. शायद उसकी शादी अगर 2012 में हुई हो तो आपको उसको बोलना है शादी कैसे हुई है, आपकी एंगेजमेंट कब हुआ था, लव मैरिज था, अरेंज मैरिज था, कैसे मिले थे, were there any talks about dowry? What if your client is female, you need to ask her, were there any talks about dowry? Were you forced to give dowry? Do you have any proof of the dowry? If you don't, do you have any bills? Don't scare them by saying कि अच्छा आपके पास कुछ नहीं, हमारा केस वीक हो गया. You need to note the court petition. The battle is between the husband and the wife. In 80% of cases there will be no evidence. Why? अभी घर के दीवार के चार दीवार के बीच में क्या हो रहा है, nobody knows. This is not a company petition, this is not a suit property dispute कि आपके पास एविडेंस, आपके पास पेपर्स हो, आप बाना का सब हो आपके पास. चार वॉल के बीच में क्या हो रहा है, nobody knows, right? So don't scare your client by saying कि अच्छा you don't have evidence. Tell them it's okay. Just ask them to give their story, their version of the story. Tell them that even if you have done something wrong, you tell that to us. We will try to mend it in a way in the petition which will be beneficial to you in the future. आप ये petition जब दाखिल करने वाले हो कोर्ट में, then the opposite side is going to come to the court with a reply. Ask the client कि ऐसी क्या चीजें हैं जो opposite side लिख सकती है पिटिशन में, वो भी आप लिखो. आपके रॉन्ग्स लिखो. अगर आपने कोई डेट पे उसको मारा हो तो आप वो भी लिखो कि मैंने 23 सितंबर 2018 को out of this furious. Write that also. Don't hide things. We are your lawyers, right? So write everything. Maybe you have hit him back in private defense. Maybe आपने उसको push किया हुआ, आपको मारने आ रहा हो या कुछ, right? So you need to write everything in your petition. You don't have to wait for the opposite side to come and tell that to the court. Otherwise, the court will assume that why were you hiding this? What if the opposite side comes with some kind of proof with that you will not even be able to deny the allegations? What if you had sent him an apology over message कि I'm sorry I hit you today? So you need to write everything, even what you are wrong in a divorce petition, in a family court petition, right? After the client sends you the chronology of event, you call him for more meetings. Keep your ego aside. Any family court matter, आप ऐसा मत सोचो नहीं मैं उसका लॉयर हूँ, वो मेरे क्लाइंट है, मैं क्यों उसको बुलाऊं, ठीक है उसको आने दो, मैं उसका काम कर दूंगा. No, that is not what you do. You call him for more and more meetings. You ask him your queries. You send him your queries. You make your points. You should have 3 pages when you are drafting. One should be the chronology of events that he is carrying. Second should be your points, your queries. And third should be your draft on what points you are going to draft the matter. Write everything down. And then and only then you start with the drafting. This is the first step of drafting of any family code. These मैंने जो आपको बोला कि ये 5 parts what we are going to learn. This is the main part. This is how your draft is going to be good. Now in a family court there is multiple litigation involved. ऐसे बहुत कम केस में सिर्फ एक केस से ही it gets settled or something, right? A wife might file a case of maintenance against the husband. She might file for domestic violence against the husband and his family members. She might file for section 498A criminal complaint भी कर सकती है. At one point of time, when the wife will come to you, she will tell you कि I want to file a case for maintenance. ठीक है, तो आपको लगेगा कि नहीं ठीक है, ये सिर्फ मेंटेनेंस ही है, लिख देते हो कितने पैसे चाहिए. No, you are going to go and file a domestic violence. You have to write each and every point in a matrimonial dispute. You have to cover all the points of the issue, your trigger point, since when you have separated, the spouse has left the house. Everything needs to be covered in any kind of petition. हम ये जो 5 पिटिशन की बात करने वाले हैं उसमें आप ऐसा मत समझो कि नहीं डिवोर्स है तो मैं सिर्फ ऐसे ही लिखते हो कि मुझे क्यों डिवोर्स चाहिए. A family court, see, there are 2 kinds of lawyers. One lawyer likes their drafts to be extensive, very elaborated. Second lawyer, they would like their drafts to be short and sweet. ठीक है, कोर्ट को इतना हम बताते हैं. Even that is, but in a family court petition, you need your draft to be extensive. You need to involve emotions in your drafts because you need to tell the court how the spouse felt when a certain event happened. Right. So now, Dr. Rajesh, we'll start with all the 5 drafts what we want to do. First, let's talk about child custody petitions. Right. A child in the eye of a court is a child custody matter is very sensitive. आप दिखोगे कि अभी कोर्ट में बहुत बैकलॉग है, बहुत सारे केसेस पेंडिंग है, बट चाइल्ड कस्टडी पिटिशंस आर ऑलवेज गोइंग टू बी अ प्रायोरिटी टू द कोर्ट. They will always be a priority. Why? Because the court is also a parent to the child. Husband or wife से parent नहीं है. The court has to decide what is well for the child. There are many cases in which the court has seen कि नहीं, even the husband is not fit for the custody of the child, even the wife is not fit, and the court has given the guardianship of child to the third person, or they are given about the child in a hostel or a boarding school, etc. Right? So a child custody petition is extremely sensitive for a court. Now, a child custody petition, I will talk in relation to Guardians and Wards Act, and also when you can file for visitation. The non-custodial parents can file for visitation. What needs to be concentrated in a child custody petition? Now, in a child custody petition, there are 2 things that you have to see: the welfare and interest of the child. You cannot just file. Suppose you are the father and you are filing for the custody of your child who is in the custody of the mother at that point of time. You cannot just tell the court that I'm the father, I'm the natural guardian of the child, I have to have the custody of the child. No, you cannot do that. You have to tell the court why the welfare and interest of the child is better in your custody, and why the welfare and interest of the child is not good in the custody of the mother. I'd like to give you an example. In one of the petitions, one of the matters I was a part of, I filed on the side of the father a custody petition. Now, in the reply, what the mother has written is कि no, my husband used to hit me, my husband has done this to me, that. पर उन सब की अभी जरूरत. We are talking about a child custody petition. What has he done to the child? Nowhere in the reply has the wife written that why the father is unfit to have the custody of the child. So you need to write in the petition why you are fit to have the custody of the child and why the other spouse, the mother in this case, is not fit to have the custody of the child. You have to tell the court why the welfare and the interest of the child is by staying with you. You can take to go to some points that you are looking at the studies of the child उसकी grades जब वो आपकी custody में था तब better थी school में, और अभी mother की custody में है तो उसकी grades have fallen. You can take the court to the points that you are staying with your parents, your mother and your father are fit, they don't have any sickness, they will be helping you to take care of the child with you. You can take the court to the attachment the child has with you and your parents. You can, because the court is not going to see, okay, no, the father is earning, he has money, and therefore he should have the custody. The court will never see. The court will always ask why the father is. You can, if your wife is suffering from some kind of sickness, if your wife has anger issues, if your wife shouts a lot, if your wife hits the child, you can tell the court that you would never do this to the child. You have never done this to the child, but your wife does this, and therefore the custody of the child is not safe in her custody. Right? You have to take the court to different points again and again that why the welfare and interest of the child is with you and not with the mother. Now, apart from that, if you are claiming for visitation, if you are the father and the custody of the child is with the mother, and you are asking for visitation from the court, you have to tell the court why it is very necessary for a child to meet both his parents. Now, in normal cases, if a child is less than 6 years of age, if he or she, if she's a female child, in normal cases, the custody will be with the mother. Court भी बोलती है कि it's a small child, let the child be with the mother, right? In some cases, when the child is a baby girl, in these cases also the court will say that let the child be with the mother. A girl will need the mother in her adolescence. They will need her mother, right? So then you will go to the court and ask for visitation rights to meet your child. At that time, you have to draft in your visitation petition that why you have to draft in your visitation petition why it's very necessary to for the child to have the love and affection of both the parents, why it is very necessary for the upbringing of the child to be with both the father and the mother, why it is very necessary for the child to know the father, why it is very necessary for the child to have a fatherly figure, to have a father in her life. So in your visitation application, you have to concentrate on that part, that why it is necessary for, if अगर अभी कोर्ट ने डिसाइड कर ही दिया है कि नो, and even if you feel there are certain cases where even your lawyer will tell you कि no, the child is of this age, the custody will not come from the mother, and if there is nothing wrong with the mother, the lawyer will also tell you, the judge will also tell you in the first hearing, it said that there is nothing wrong, why do you want, even in your petition you have not mentioned that there is anything wrong with the mother. So at that time you will be filing for visitation, right? So you will have to tell the court that why it is necessary for the child to have visitation rights from the father, right? So this was of drafting of child custody and visitation petitions. Now let's move on to the drafting of divorce petitions. Right, divorce, I will be explaining it under the Hindu Marriage Act and the Special Marriage Act. The laws are the same. It's they're only two different acts. They are almost same laws. Now, there are two kinds of divorce. One is mutual consent divorce and the other is contested divorce. Now, mutual consent divorce. What is mutual consent divorce? Mutual consent is when both the husband and the wife go to the court. After a mutual consent divorce can only be filed 1 year after the marriage, right? So both the husband and the wife, they will go to the court and they will tell the court that now we are no longer able to live together. If they have a child, they'll tell the court that even for the betterment of the child, that we have a lot of issues and because of our problems it is impacting the child, we have decided to mutually separate, to mutually get divorced and move on with our lives. So that is a very short and sweet petition. In that petition, there are no claims against each other's spouse. In most, in 99% of cases, कोई blame नहीं करेगा, ऐसे ही बोलेगा court. If you have your differences, your elderly members of the family have tried to counsel you. There have been mediators. You have separated for a period of time. You cannot file a mutual consent divorce without 1 year of marriage plus 1 year of separation. You have to be separate. You have to understand that in our religion, in our country, a marriage is a very religious thing. It cannot be you have to show the court that you have been separated for some time. You have been separated for a year or more, and thereafter you are coming to the court after a lot of efforts. Separation cannot be only when both the husband and wife start residing in different houses. Separation can also be when you are staying under the same roof, but you are residing in different rooms, or you are residing in the same room, but you do not have any relations of a husband and wife. You do not talk. You are just staying, but you are not in a relation of a husband and wife. That is when you are separated, but you are staying under the same roof. So you need to satisfy the court with all of this by saying that why you are separated, right? Now let's jump to contested petitions. Contested petitions are when you are filing for divorce. One spouse is filing for divorce from the other spouse on the basis of something. In India, we do not recognize the basis of a divorce to be that I do not have interest in this marriage anymore. This marriage has broken down. You cannot just go to the court and say, I'm not interested in this marriage. You have to tell the court what is wrong with the marriage. You have to tell the court if there is a cruelty that has been done to you, if your spouse is living in an adulterous relations, if your spouse has deserted you. You need to tell all of this to the court, right? So you will need to, Dr. Rajesh, just a second. I'll just. Very sorry, I was getting a call from the court. So you will need to tell the court that, hello? You will need to tell the court.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. You can hear me, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Okay, fine. So we'll continue. So we were at contested petitions. Contested petitions can be filed on the basis of whether cruelty has been imposed on you. Cruelty is not only physical. Cruelty can also be mental cruelty. It can also be emotional cruelty. It can be filed on the basis of whether your spouse is living in an adulterous relation. It can be filed on the basis of whether your spouse has deserted you for a period of 2 years or more. Now, what kind of cruelty you are facing, you need to write it. What kind of cruelty your client is facing, you need to write it in the petition. You cannot just say कि नहीं मैं उसकी spouse ने ऐसा बोला कि she cannot cook well and therefore cruelty was imposed. No, a court will never consider some normal wear and tear of a marriage as cruelty. You have to show the court why this. You have to show the court why cruelty was imposed on you. You need to be very extensive. In a drafting of a divorce petition, you need to start from the date of marriage. You need to start from when you have met, whether it is a love marriage, whether it is an arranged marriage. If arranged marriage है तो आपको किसने मिला था, आप कैसे मिले थे? Before marriage, what was your impression of your spouse? How you thought this marriage would be? What happened after marriage? When did the circumstances change after marriage? You need to take the court to everywhere. You need to also tell the court, okay, first few years of the marriage were good. Okay, then tell the court, first few years of the marriage were good. We were living in harmony. We were having a good time. We were traveling. We went to a lot of places together. You need to tell everything to the court. You need to tell the court the trigger point, the point since when you started having disputes. In a lot of cases, it happens that after the birth of the child, when responsibilities are not being held by either of the spouse, they start to have problems in their life. So you need to tell the court, okay, because a court is going to assume that if a child is born, then the marriage was fine between both the parties. So you need to tell the court that okay, after the child was born, this has happened, that has happened. You need to take the court to all the areas. You see, it's not compulsory. आप अभी बताओगे कि 30 साल, what if it's a 30 years marriage, and what if I'm filing for divorce after 30 years of marriage, what will happen? सो उसमें ऐसा नहीं है कि आप ऐसा बताओगे कि ठीक है 23 सितंबर 1997 में मेरे साथ, ऑफ कोर्स यू विल नॉट रिमेंबर. So you have to ask your client, okay, do you remember the year? Do you remember that sometime around 1998 something like this happened with you? Write that. It's not compulsory. The court is not asking you to give the exact date. The court is asking you to give a blur idea of what had happened. If you remember the event of what had happened, then of course you will remember when sometime between 2001 and 2003 something has. Write that, but write something. You can even write sometime in the summer of 2008 this event happened, but you need to write something, right? So that is, then you need to take to the court that how much you have tried to mediate, what all changed after that. If you are separated, you need to tell the court that how you are separated. Agar if in a lot of cases, if the wife is filing for divorce, then she must have left the house, she must have gone to her parental house or parents house. So you need to tell the court how much efforts you have tried for mediation. Marriage will work. अगर आप कोई काउंसलर के पास गए हो, if elderly members of your family, आपके कोई relatives हो, आपके कोई mutually well wishers हो जिसने ट्राई किया है कि आपका reconciliation हुए आपके मैरिज में, so you need to address everything to the court, right? So that is the main thing in divorce petitions. You need to satisfy the court why cruelty was imposed on you. This is of cruelty. Second is of adultery. Adultery is when one spouse is living in an adulterous relation, is having an extramarital affair with with another person. Now, in a petition of adultery, you have to join the adulterer as a party in the cause title. आपको उसको भी party बनानी पड़ेगी. Any XYZ person that needs to be a party. If you don't have the address, you don't have the number, then you need to tell that to the court also. That is a party, but we don't have the address. The court will tell you, the court will ask the other spouse then that furnish the address or the number. The court will guide you on how to get. Even you will be trying, right? So और अभी के ज़माने तो you can also serve summons through WhatsApp. You can also send. There have been couple of judgments lately, even because of Corona. They were not able to send RPAD post से summons नहीं भिजवा सके. The Supreme Court has said that it's okay. Send it through WhatsApp. Send it through email, right? So you need to. In adulterous petition, you need to join the party. Now, desertion also you need to. In desertion, there has to be a continuous desertion of 2 years or more. Now, 2 years, you need to tell the court that in 2 years, how much you have tried कि आप husband को ढूंढो, आप husband को convince करो कि आपके साथ रहे. How much you have tried for restitution of conjugal rights. Restitution of conjugal right means a husband and wife staying together. This we can make it a 6th part also if we find time. Restitution of conjugal rights is a petition. I'll just explain it very quickly. Restitution of conjugal rights is noted in Section 9 of the Hindu Marriage Act 1955. It's when your spouse has left you, has deserted you, and so you are filing it in the court and asking the court to tell your spouse to come back and resume the marriage with you and to stay with you as husband and wife. In that, you need to tell the court that there is nothing wrong with the marriage and the spouse has just left the marriage. So you will need to address this to the court, whether why the spouse is left and when the spouse is left, and you need to tell the court that there's nothing wrong. So I want restitution of conjugal rights. So very quickly, I've told you about restitution. Now we will go to maintenance applications. Maintenance applications, I will be explaining applications under the Criminal Procedure Code. You can file an application for maintenance under section 125 of the Criminal Procedure Code. If if you know that Criminal Procedure Code maintenance applications are not only filed by the wife, they can also be filed by the children through their mother, or whoever their mother who they are residing with. Even it can be filed by unmarried girls to get money from their father. It can also be filed by the parents of the children of the an adult. The parents of an adult also can file maintenance. Now, what needs to be concentrated in maintenance applications? In maintenance applications, what needs to be concentrated is that you need to tell the court what your husband's lifestyle is. You need to tell the court कि उसकी lifestyle ऐसी है, वो इतना कमाता है, this is the car he uses, this is the, you can even take the court to the littlest of thing, that this is the watch he wears, this is the t-shirt he wears, this is the price of the t-shirt he wears. So if his lifestyle is there, he's not maintaining me, he's not giving me a single penny, he's not giving a single penny to me or my child. The child is residing with me, so therefore I need maintenance, and I need maintenance in the same way, and I want to stay in the same lifestyle as he's staying, so I need maintenance accordingly. Generally, the court will consider 1/3 of the husband's income to be maintenance for the wife or the minor children. The court will also see circumstances like whether the child is residing with the wife. If the child is residing with the husband, then the court will also tell the wife and if the wife is earning, or she is educated, or she's capable of earning, the court will also tell the wife that you are capable of earning, the kid is not residing with you, so therefore maintenance cannot be given to you. So you need to be extremely cautious in making of a maintenance applications. Since the past few years, the courts are of a view that if the wife is earning, if the wife is capable of earning, if she is educated, matlab agar if you have done a PhD or something and still you are sitting at home, you are not working for your benefit, then you also need to tell the court, okay, even if the condition is that you are a doctor, but you are the child is with you, you are taking care of the child, you are not able to work, that is the reason you are not able to work, then you need to address everything to the court since the beginning of the applications. Since the beginning that you are filing the application, you will need to address all of this to the court, right? You need to tell the court that if the situation is such that maybe you are 45 years of age, and in this you are not able to find a job at this age, then you need to tell the court, you need to show the court the efforts you have made for the job, that you search for a job, your timings are not able to match with your child's schedule. You can also tell the court, if you, because of the separation with your husband, if you have some kind of you have gone through a traumatic experience and you are not able to work anymore, you for this point being, at least you can tell the court also that when the time comes and you are able to work, you will definitely file an affidavit in the court that you are working now. So you need to be very cautious and careful in the drafting of maintenance applications in the court. Now this we have talked about a wife filing for maintenance against the husband. Now, a child, if residing with the wife, can also file for application for maintenance against the husband through the mother in the court, right? So a child has to, you'll have to write everything in the petition, that every little thing or every little cost of the child. Even if a milk bottle is of 20 rupees, you need to make a table. You have to make a table that per month uska kitna hota hai, उसका कॉस्ट कितना होता है, स्कूल फीस कितनी होती है, स्कूल फीस ऑफ 1 semester you need to divide it monthly wise, that this is what I need to give every month for school fees, this is the tuition fees, this is his books fees, this is child's miscellaneous expenses, this is child's travel cost, अगर वो van या bus में जाते, you need to tell you have to make a table your maintenance that you are asking from the court can be as odd a figure as some 7,533 rupees. But you have to tell the court the exact amount of maintenance that you want from the court for your child. Right. Now, even an unmarried girl can ask for maintenance from a father. A boy above the age of 18, if he's disabled, if he's not able to work, if he has some kind of illness where he cannot file work, he can too ask for maintenance from the father. And the mother and father of an adult can ask for maintenance from them. It has to be from a married woman or a man or a boy who is above 18 years of age, right? So that is what we have learned in maintenance application. Maintenance can also be filed along with divorce petitions. You can file interim maintenance, and along with a divorce petition you can file for alimony. The wife can file for alimony. Interim maintenance can also be filed both by husband and wife, and you can file for alimony, where you again you'll have to take the court to the lifestyle of the husband, that alimony, how much alimony you need for that, right? Now, fourth, we have reached domestic violence drafting. Domestic violence petitions are not filed at the family court. Domestic violence petitions are filed at the local courts. The jurisdiction, your area, whichever area you are staying, there will be a court for that jurisdiction. The domestic violence, they are mostly filed at the magistrate courts. So the domestic violence petition complaints will be filed there. Now, domestic violence, आप जब नाम सुनते हो आपको लगेगा कि it's a criminal kind of nature, domestic violence. But no, domestic violence is quasi-civil and quasi-criminal in nature. It is not only criminal. There is no punishment as to jail or anything in domestic violence. Domestic violence is for economic. Agar if the court is able to pertain that, okay, domestic violence had been caused on the wife or the child, then or the girl child, then the court will avoid you some kind of benefit. That will be, the court can avoid you rent, the court will give you protection. They will give an application to the protection officer that please protect this lady as she's a victim of domestic violence, and the court will give you monetary relief. The same, that is the interim relief that we have spoken about in the earlier maintenance applications. Now, domestic violence. What is domestic violence? Domestic violence can be of some kinds. It can be physical violence, physical abuse. It can be mental abuse. It can be economical abuse. It can be sexual abuse. It can be verbal abuse. You need to tell the court if, first of all, it can also be economical abuse. Now you need to tell the court whether economical abuse. What is economical abuse? Economical abuse is when you are a wife, you are not earning, and your husband is not maintaining you. He is not giving you money. Or it can also be when you are earning and the husband is asking you for all your money. The husband is asking you कि नहीं आपके पास जितने अभी पैसे आप मुझे दे दो. You are not able to maintain yourself. That is how you are getting abused economically. So in your petitions, whenever you are drafting a domestic violence complaint, you need to be very extensive about what kind of abuse your client is facing. You need to tell the court whether your client is a victim of physical abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, economical abuse, or physical abuse, right? So you need to elaborate. The drafting will be somewhat in the same line of a divorce petition कि आपके साथ ये cruelty हुई थी, but you need to take the court के. And domestic violence can not only be filed against the husband, it can also be filed against the husband, his parents, anybody staying in the domestic household. If there are parts where the mother of the husband has caused some kind of cruelty against you, the father of the husband, the brother, sister, or anybody has caused, you can also file it against them. But it cannot be caused कि नहीं ये इसका friend है, उसने मेरे साथ ऐसा किया था. No, you cannot make them a party. It has to be in between the domestic household. आपके घर में जो लोग रह रहे हैं, अगर उन लोग ने आपके साथ कोई domestic abuse किया है, तो ही आप फाइल कर सकते हो डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस पिटिशन उनके सामने. यू जस्ट कैन नॉट एड एवरीवन यू थिंक हस्बैंड की ये है वो है उसका सबको. यू कैन नॉट एड ऑल ऑफ देम. You need to add the person who was staying in the house and if they have caused any kind of domestic violence to you. Domestic violence, you can ask for rent. You can ask for something like where you are residing in the same house as the husband, but you want to reside in one part of the house or in one room. You can also get a restraining husband from your abuser. Whether sometimes there have been petitions where a domestic violence petition has been filed only against the husband's father or brother by saying that this person is harassing me, so this person should not come near me. He should not. I'll be staying in the same house as my husband, but that person who is causing any kind of domestic violence to me shall not come near me, shall not come 10 feet distance mein wo nahi aa sakte. You can get such kind of restraining orders from domestic violence. Now 498A complaints also are in the same line of domestic violence. They are criminal complaints. If you, first of all, you'll have to file a complaint at the police station near your house or your husband's house, and then you'll have to see whether you'll have to check your jurisdiction from wherever you are filing the 498A complaint. Right. Now, 498A complaint, you will have to write, it will be in your local language, like in Vadodara, Ahmedabad, we'll have to write it in Gujarati language. So you will need to get it typed Now, in that also you need to tell the court whether what kind of cruelty was. Many a times 498A complaints are coupled with dowry applications. So if there was any involvement of dowry, you need to tell the court that, because dowry is also a crime in India. So you need to tell the court whether what kind of harassment was done, who all asked for dowry, and what kind of, you'll have to share a list with the police. So you give a complaint, the police calls the other person for reply. Because it's a matrimonial issue, the police themselves will try to reconcile to settle the matter. Thereafter, if the police will do some kind of investigation, and if they feel this complaint is proper, they will lodge an FIR on the basis of the complaint. So a 498A complaint, you'll have to show what kind, every kind of cruelty that has been done to you. Mostly it involves physical abuse and dowry. Right. So that is what it's almost in the same line of domestic violence, just that it's criminal. It's completely criminal in nature, and thereafter it will the case will also go in court. And the opposite side can also file for bail. They can file for anticipatory or regular bail depending on the circumstances, and they can also file for quashing of the FIR if the high court at the high court of the state. So this we have completed the 5 what we had decided. Now, one important thing in all the 5 petitions that I spoke about is that you need to read judgments. You need to read judgments of different courts. If you are filing, suppose you are filing a petition on of divorce, and you are filing it on some kind of mental cruelty, he used to use swear words in front of the child, and therefore mental cruelty. He used to speak to a lot of women. He used to travel without me, he used to do this, that, etc. So for that, there's always some kind of judgment. So you need to read a judge's view on what that petition, मतलब अगर judgment क्या है कि it's a kind of a precedent कि अगर पहले ऐसा केस हुआ है, so you need to read the judge's view. You need to see what the judge had to say about that case. Include all of that in your petition. It will help you. आपको लगेगा कि नहीं जजमेंट का तो अभी नहीं आएगा, it will come during the final argument के टाइम पे हम दिखा देंगे judgment. No, in your petition is very important. It's a lower court petition. Therefore, include everything you feel it's important. What a lot of precedents feel in cruelty. What is cruelty? If there is some kind of definition of cruelty in which they have filed a petition, then include all of it in your petitions. The same will apply for child custody maintenance. You have to read judgments. You have to read all the precedents in whatever case you're working. If you're working on a case of economical abuse कि नहीं इसके साथ मेरे साथ client के साथ economical abuse हुआ है कि there is some kind of monetary benefit that your client's husband has taken for your client, then you need to read such kind of cases also so that you can write it in your petition कि ठीक है पहले भी ऐसा व्यू लिया हुआ है कोर्ट ने, the apex court or the high court of various states, so you need to mention everything in your petitions, right? So I'll just summarize. We went from how we should sit with our clients. We need to write everything. We'll be carrying the plaint with us to all the high courts, the Supreme Court. Therefore, we need to be very extensive. अगर आप कोई एविडेंस भी दे रहे हो फ्यूचर में, इवन फॉर दैट यू हैव टू मेंशन इट इन योर पिटिशन एट द एग्जिबिट 1 व्हेन यू आर फाइलिंग इट कि ओके दिस इज समथिंग आई एम गोइंग टू शो. यू हैव टू क्रेव लीव ऑफ द कोर्ट के आई हैव दिस, आई विल शो इट एट द टाइम. इट्स नॉट कंपल्सरी टू गिव एविडेंस विथ द मेन पिटिशन दैट यू आर फाइलिंग. There's a different stage of evidence at the court that we'll of course take it in some different session of the part of evidence. Now you will need to mention all of it in your main petition itself. Thereafter we saw the drafting of various divorce petitions, of mutual consent divorce, child custody petition, of maintenance application, domestic violence complaint, and a 498A complaint under the Indian Penal Code. Right.
Ma'am, it was a really very fantastic session by you. You have elaborated the all 5 aspects in a very well manner. Number 1. Number 2, in the start, hide anything. Let us suppose a push is also there, then you have to write in the drafting. So you should not hide anything to the court, so that, and to the advocate also, so that the person who is drafting, he should give the awareness to the court that this is happened from that stage. You have also teased us that every part means whatever the date the dispute arises, or suppose you are missing the date, you have to mention the era, or let us suppose 2020 or 2021, in between 2020 and 21. So something has to be written. Correct. In the matronymial dispute of the maintenance, you have elaborated that the specific points to be noted down, and if the salary of the husband is divided by 1/3. But madam, I have one question.
Okay.
That if suppose the wife is also earning, let us suppose a husband is earning 70,000 and wife is earning 30,000. So, and the husband is putting the this loan recovery, all is paid by husband. So what amount is to be divided?
So everything the court will see. Abhi there is a new judgment, a very recent judgment 2 महीने के पहले ही आया है. It is called Rajneesh versus Neha, Supreme Court का judgment है. In that they have given certain guidelines. Enclosure release किया हुआ है. उसमें both the husband, when the wife is filing the petition, she needs to file it. She needs to file the enclosure, and on top of that even the husband will need to file. In that आपने जो अभी query पूछी कि ये जो लोन और सब क्या, वो सब हमको लिखना पड़ता है. The affidavit में ये enclosure देना होता है. So the court will calculate everything कि ठीक है, husband has this much loan, the wife is earning this much. So if the wife is earning 30,000, the husband is earning 70,000, so that will be minus from the 70,000. There are also some judgments you will be surprised where the court has been very sensitive. It has gone in such deep length that it has seen that okay, even if the wife is earning, they'll see that the age of the wife is 45 years and she has been married for 15 years. They will see okay, for 15 years she has taken care of the house, she has taken care of the husband's parents, she has taken care of the children, she has helped in the upbringing. So the court even considers such things in that. So court सब calculate करेगी. एक पूरा form ही है. I can even, if you want, Dr. Rajesh, I'll share the form with you. So you can even share it with the students. It's a very informative form. ये लोन और सबका उसमें भरना पड़ता है कि कितना लोन है. कोई अगर आपके पास डिपेंडेंट हो, मतलब अगर you are claiming maintenance from husband and the husband has dependents, whether the father or the mother of the husband is dependent on him, then everything needs to be written in it.
Madam, I am just not forgetting the name of the judgment. The Delhi High Court has given maintenance to the wife of 20,000 in one of the case. I'm just forgetting that name of the case. But on that case, he was a businessman, and the husband is taking care of the child, and the Delhi High Court has awarded 20,000 maintenance. I'm just forgetting the name of the case, but it was by the Delhi High Court judgment is there. So if suppose in such scenario, if the wife is earning more than husband, so can a husband ask for the maintenance from wife?
So the husband can ask for maintenance from the wife, not under the criminal procedure code, पर अगर कोई proceeding चल रही है civil case में, family court में, like suppose a Hindu Marriage Act proceeding is going on, so in there the husband can ask for maintenance from the wife under section 24 of the Hindu Marriage Act for interim maintenance from the wife. The husband has to show the court that his son, the child is with the husband, the wife is earning more, the husband is taking care of the child. On top of that, the wife is also having interest in the custody because she's having visitation rights. So this husband will have to take everything to the court, and then he can claim maintenance for that under the Hindu Marriage Act.
Okay.
Not under the criminal procedure code. The husband, everybody can ask from the husband, the wife, the child, but the husband cannot ask from the wife.
Madam, it was very fantastic session, and I am really very much thankful to you that you have spared a so valuable time of yours, and your explanation is so fantastic, ma'am. Ma'am, I have one request that you give one example to our student to have a task on any topic of your this era.
So what I'm going to do is that Dr. Rajesh, I will be giving a kind of a problem sum, little facts of a case, and the students can make a petition on the basis of that. So I want the students to make a petition under section 13 and section 26 of the Hindu Marriage Act. The petition has to be filed by the father. So the facts of the cases are that ex and wife, Y are husband and wife respectively. They are residing in Jodhpur. Z is the child of X and Y. Z is 5 years of age at the moment. The wife Y has there have been some kind of matrimonial disputes between X and Y. X is pressuring Y for a second child when the health of Y is so bad that if she'll have a second child, then her health will become worse and she might even die on the operation table or when during pregnancy itself. And therefore, she is refusing for the second child. Because of that, X and Y have a number of disputes. So wife decides that she is trauma. So for the sake of Y and the child, the wife goes to stay at her parental house in Bhopal. Y takes Z with her. Y and Z are residing in Bhopal. Now the husband has filed for divorce. The husband is to file for divorce, and he also wants to claim custody of the child. The husband also wants to take the court that the jurisdiction or original place of residence of the child is not Bhopal, but it is Jodhpur, where the child is born and he was residing with the husband. So the student should draft a petition of divorce. हस्बैंड को वाइफ से डिवोर्स चाहिए और उसको कस्टडी भी चाहिए चाइल्ड की on the basis of these facts. They can also draft on Guardians and Wards Act, Hindu Marriage Act, whatever they would prefer.
Thank you, ma'am. This was really fantastic. At least my students are able to do this assignment, and ma'am, really it is a very fantastic session, and we would like to invite you whenever this pandemic will be over at our university to interact with our student means particularly we have the 50-50 ratio of gender, means 50 girls and 50 boys are also there. So it is a very good interaction, madam. After this pandemic, we are definitely going to invite you, madam, at Vadodara at our university. And from this, madam, I just wind up and I will thankful from from Dr. Akhil Sayyed sir, who is the dean and director of the university. Right now, he's have some network problems, so he is unable to. So he has given his regret that he is unable to join. So from this whole entire faculty and from the Parul Institute of Law, madam, I am thankful to you and obliged, ma'am, for this kindness. Thanks, thanks.
Very
thank you, ma'am. And I'm also thankful to Jiten Kubhani and Brijesh Acharya sir, who has given this live coverage to this topic. Thank you, Jiten sir, and thank you, Brijesh Acharya sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your giving the spare time. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot. Brijesh.